Hello guys, this is Prashasti Sharma, a Bennett University student. My batch is EB13 and my roll number is E20 CSE 261. So today we will be learning about cryptography. So here, what is cryptography? So cryptography is basically a technique of securing information and communication through use of code so that only those people for whom it is intended can understand it. So like here for an example, we have two people A and B. So A is sending some message to person B, and there will be like many other people who would want to acquire that message. Yeah, so we will use cryptography here so that only A and B can understand the message. Others might be able to get it or read it, but they won't be able to understand it. So this is how cryptography works. It encrypts plain text to the ciphertext and again ciphertext to the plain text. Why are we converting back? Why are we decrypting it? Because how will the person for whom the message is intended will read it, right? So we will again have to decrypt it so that the person can read it. So we talked about plain text and ciphertext, but what are basically? So plain text, it is a normal message that anyone can read and understand. But ciphertext, it is a message that others can read but they won't be able to understand. Use a cryptographic key. Cryptography is basically some code that we provide in the normal text which helps it to convert into ciphertext. There are two types of cryptographic key, symmetric key and asymmetric or public key. Also symmetric key, symmetric means same. Here sender and receiver both will have only one key. So the sender and receiver, they both are using an unsecure channel like internet. Internet is an unsecure channel, right? So there are many different kinds of symmetric key, but the most famous ones are AES and DES. So AES is Advanced Encryption Standard and DES is Data Encryption Standard. In symmetric key, even though the method is very simple, but the exchange of keys are difficult because we can't send the key through the message, otherwise anyone can acquire that, right? So in asymmetric encryption, we have two keys. One is a public key and another is a private key. So public key is used for encryption while the private key is used for decryption. So why are we using public key for encryption? If the public key is known by everyone, the intended receiver can only decode it because he alone knew the private key. So the public and private key, they are mathematically related. Like if a person is encrypting a code by a public key, then he can decrypt the code only using the private key. Okay, and vice versa. So if he's like encrypting, like transforming plain text to a ciphertext using a private key, then he can only decrypt it using a public key. We are not making the decryption key as public key. Why? Because then anyone can easily, since everyone will be have the availability of that, they can easily get the message, they can understand them. That's why. If we compare symmetric and asymmetric encryption, then we can say that asymmetric encryption is more complicated than the symmetric key. First, there has to be a high security. Why? Because the private key should not be shared with anyone else. That's all for now, guys. I hope you all understand this video. Thank you.